I would now like to call on Dr. Reddy Arawa to continue with the mental models and the scene that I try to set up. So Reddy, the floor is yours and you have 12 minutes.
Thank you very much. I'll do my level best. A very good morning to you all. I'll stand on the protocols that have been said. You are most welcome. It's early in the morning, but I know that because we all love the dry lands, that's why we are here. So we say habari za asubuhi ate karibuni. It's really a great pleasure for me to share with you an overview of the Icrisat Strategic Roadmap 2025 to 2030. The people who are helping me, can we go to the next slide? Yeah. I would like to start with this slide. This slide is about the global vision and mission of Icrisat. Our vision is to see a prosperous and food secure and resilient dryland tropics, with of course a mission to reduce poverty, hunger, malnutrition and environmental degradation. The dryland globally is a home to 0.1 billion, and you can see on this map Icrisat, which just clocked 54 years, we have a big footprint as far as crop distribution and conservation. These are crops that are dryland resilient to these agroecologies. Next. The strategic roadmap that will be launched today is building on over 50 years solid research and partnership in the dryland, as Andre has mentioned. The crops that I just showed you, these are highly nutritious, resilient to climate. We are talking of sorghum, millets, chickpeas, groundnuts. In Africa, we have made a footprint through our crops. Just to give you an example, according to data, 68% of the chickpeas in the sub-Saharan Africa traded volume is contribution of Icrisat. And I'm saying contribution because this has been in partnership with the NAS and many other partners. The same trend is for pigeon peas, groundnuts. Mention about partnership. I'm glad to see that we have an array of partnership that have been part of helping Icrisat to make a difference in this dry land. And of course, we are building on our country presence across sub-Saharan Africa, our multidisciplinary expertise, and the infrastructure. Next slide. I want to remind you that there are challenges in the dry land, but our strategy has really looked what opportunities we have in this effort to transform dry lands. Today we are looking at a shift from a commodity focus to a food systems. This is a great opportunity for us to transform the dry land because it's not just about crops, it's about livestock. It's about all the landscape, the functioning of that. So we are now shifting towards these food systems. There is a very deliberate or conscious now realization that we need to eat healthy foods, nutritious foods. And this is across the sub-Saharan Africa or across Africa now. We are talking about feeding programs that are being rolled out almost in every country. Agricultural commercialization, I think we are increasingly realizing that we can only create jobs through agriculture. I've mentioned about integrated livestock. This is coming as an opportunity to create geo-purpose varieties. And of course, the AI, big data intelligence. And this is across the 3 regions that Icrisat is operating. Next. And so, our strategic roadmap, we have the first area, which is enhancing crop genetic innovation in response to markets and consumers. This is a very important element, that our enhancement of genetic innovation is not going to be business as usual. We need to respond to the consumers as well as markets. The second area is that of development of innovative seed delivery models, very critical. It's one thing to have a seed, but it's another thing to make sure that that seed reaches the farmer, the last mile delivery. The third area is that of scaling multifunctional landscape. As I mentioned, we are now looking at a food systems approach. And I'm glad that Icrisat, in the last 50 years, we have developed models for scaling these multifunctional landscapes. Most of the work we have done in Asia, particularly in India, in this strategy, we have the opportunity to take those lessons, the knowledge, and bring them to scale in Africa. The fourth area is that of digital agriculture. I can't emphasize enough that today in countries like Kenya, the mobile phone penetration is almost 80% of the population. We need to ride on that to provide information to the farmer. Next. The area of creating enabling improvement for scaling, this is very critical. As I said, now everyone is saying if we have to create jobs to the 70% of our populations, which is most of the African demographics, it's between 60 to 70%, you see that they are youth that are looking for jobs. In that scheme, we need to get to where agriculture becomes an agribusiness entrepreneurship. Capacity building is going to be very critical. We need to build capacity, not just for the science, but capacity building to do business, to deliver technologies. This is going to leverage on our Dryland Academy. This is an initiative that Icrisat has made over the last couple of years. It's a Dryland Academy that provides knowledge to all the actors on the value chain. We will expand our partnership, strategic partnership, expanding on where we are. I think I mentioned the type of partnership we have, but now we have an opportunity to expand our scope. The other area of partnership that we are going to leverage on is South-South cooperation. This is a very critical area. As I mentioned, there is a lot of exchange between Asia and Africa, and this is where we can bring the knowledge on multifunctional landscape, mechanization, digital agriculture. And of course, the last area of integrated tailored corporate services to enhance our efficiencies and making sure that we are retaining the right skill sets to deliver on this strategy. Next. How do we operationalize? Our roadmap is going to be operationalized at 3 levels. The lower level is where we are going to be creating projects based on the 7 areas that I've mentioned. And the third level, this is going to be anchored within our 3 global research programs, which are resilient farm and food systems, accelerated crop improvement, and enabling systems transformation. This will quickly translate to the scaling strategies, working together with our demand and scaling partners. If you look on this continuum, our three entry points are going to be revolving around the science of discovery. This is where there will be a lot of upstream science, adaptive research, and then on that continuum up there, it's going to be looking at the science of delivery. In the last 50 years, you have seen the impact that we have made. It's because we have been operating on this continuum. But this time we have an opportunity to increase on this continuum because we are talking about 2.1 billion people living in the dry land agroecologies. Next slide. And so I want to invite you on this journey just to show you where we are located in Africa. These are our physical locations. This is where we have offices. West Central Africa, East and Southern Africa. Today you are in Nairobi. This is our regional office. My invitation to you is join us, 2.1 billion people. Nearly 60% of the African population, they derive their livelihoods in the dry land agroecologies. I believe by coming here this morning, you are signing up that together we are going to be on this journey of transforming the dry land agroecologies of Africa. Thank you very much.
Ziko Mukwambiri, really. Now, in the mental models that I spoke about earlier, you now have the strategies and you have the basic concept of science of discovery all the way to science of delivery. So we are building a workable mental model of violence transformation. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce our Director General, Icrisat, to address us. Once again, thank you. Welcome to Africa, and we're looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great pleasure and honor for me and for all the staff of Icrisat in Africa, in Asia, all our nurse partners, all our collaborators. It is indeed a great pleasure to welcome each and every one of you in this very important, and please underline and bold, very important event of unveiling the roadmap for my colleague. Let me give an excellent presentation of why dry land is important, what we should be doing, what Icrisat is thinking about of transforming these dry lands in Africa. It is very simple to understand. Dry lands in this continent, as you know, occupy around 43% of total cultivated land, 2.1 billion people all over the globe, and not only in Africa. If you see the whole world, dry lands are extremely important for food security, for nutrition security of the world. And that work must start in Africa. Icrisat, as you all know, was established 54 years back. Some of the achievements Ravi has already presented before you. But let me tell you, Icrisat was established to serve the dry lands. Icrisat was established for Africa, to work with Africa, to be in Africa, so that the dry lands of Africa are transformed into a viable, vibrant, sustainable agricultural landscape. And this is our vision. Our vision is very simple. Transforming these dry lands into vibrant and sustainable agriculture landscape. Friends, all of us know the problems of drylands. All of you know about it. But let me tell you, problems of drylands are actually intensifying. Drylands are dry, all of us know it. But these drylands are becoming drier because of climate change, because of increasing temperature and so on. And in recent publication in Science, it very categorically showed how the drylands are becoming drier. Drylands are thirsty, need water. But let me also tell you, drylands are becoming more thirsty because of all this degradation, pollution, climate change, global warming and so on. Drylands are not only thirsty, they are also hungry. They need nutrient. They need organic carbon. They need nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, micronutrients, microbes. But the drylands, unfortunately, are becoming hungrier because of all these challenges. And until and unless we make agriculture in drylands sustainable, whatever we do, whatever we say, global food security cannot be achieved. And this is not a mere statement. This is not a line talked in one conference. This is reality. Without transforming drylands, global food security, global nutrition security cannot be achieved. Climate resilience cannot be achieved without achieving resilience in drylands. And this is what the vision of Icrisat is. What can be done? How these problems can be solved? How these dry and thirstier and hungrier islands can be converted back into vibrant, sustainable landscape. All over the world, history has showed us that few things, at least 3 or 4 things, are absolutely required to make any kind of big changes. And that is more so in agriculture. Firstly, we need path-breaking science. And for that, all of us are here. All my CG colleagues are here, all my nurse partners are here. Thank you very much for being here. Path-breaking science is number 1. With science, we can. And that's what in CG science we got. With science, we can. And in history, you will see a number of examples where with science we have delivered. Without science, no, we cannot deliver. This is number 1. Number 2 is participation of our farmers, peasants. So first P is path-breaking science. Second P is peasants, farmers, our stakeholders. We need to involve them. We need to improve their capacity. We need to improve their skill. We need to tell them what is new science and how these science and technologies are going to help. Third P is policy. Science alone cannot deliver. There are many good science and technologies which are there in research institutes like Icrisat or Icrisat or NARS partners. But if there is no good policy to reach out to those technologies and science to farmers, we cannot do that. And the fourth P is partnership. And I'm extremely glad today when I see all of you here. All CG partners, our NARS partners, our funders, our donors, our board members, and all of you are here. Because these 4 P's are extremely important to transform drylands. Icrisat is committed for that. You know Icrisat as International Crop Research Institute for Semi-Arid, tropics. I would also like to request you to revisit as International Crop Research Institute for Sustainable Africa Transformation. Sustainable Africa Transformation. And here we redeem our commitment. Here we reaffirm our commitment to help African agriculture to get it transformed. How it can be done? I told you. Is it possible? Yes. In the past, we have shown. And currently, if I just give you few examples, that why you are so confident that this can be done. First, as I said, path-breaking science. Icrisat and our nurse partners have got very good technologies, including varieties which are climate resilient, which can tolerate high temperature, which can be grown with very less amount of water, and which can also improve soil health. These technologies, varieties are with pipeline. And I'm sure in next few years, many more such path-breaking science, path-breaking technologies are going to come. We need your support. So this is the first point of our confidence, that we have got technologies and we are in the process of generating technologies. Second point of confidence is Icrisat has got very strong presence in Africa. Very strong presence. And for 1 year or 2 years, for quite long time, we are present here. Third, our partners. Though I have joined only 1 month back, but what I could see, that people are committed. Our donors, our partners, the governments are really committed to help Icrisat and CG and other NARS partners to take our agenda forward. So that is the third point of strength. And in this Science Week, when we are celebrating science, what I could see that if we join hand with others, it is not only Icrisat. Transforming dry land of Africa is not a small job, my colleagues. It cannot be done only by Icrisat, though I said there are strength, yes. But then we all need to come together, because all those 4 P's need to be integrated, put in one place. Then only this big transformation will be possible. And that is possible. And this is what for we are here today. This is what is our vision. Vision is simple. Vision is very easy to understand. The vision is implementable. But then we really need to understand, accept, and work together. I'm sure your presence here this morning reaffirms your commitment, and of course gives strength to our commitment that we will be able to serve Africa's drylands in a much better way, so that when we look ahead 5-10 years down the line, probably we will be seeing Africa's drylands in different landscape. Friends, we have to deliver. As I said, the problems of drylands are getting fiercer. Problems of drylands are getting intensified. All these aberrations of drylands are getting more and more frequent. So these are more frequent, more fiercer, more intense. And to address those, science, partnership, policy, and of course our stakeholders' collaboration needs to be further accelerated to achieve what we all want for Africa's drylands. With these words, once again, I welcome each and every one of you. And thank you very much for being here in support of drylands of Africa, transforming Africa's agriculture, and also supporting the cause of Icrisat. Let us make transforming dryland agriculture a global agenda. It is not an agenda of only one country or one continent. It has to be a global agenda. Drylands are not only in Africa, drylands are almost everywhere in the world. So until and unless we make it a global agenda, all the problems of drylands cannot be solved. Let us do that. And as I said, we have shown in the past that we can do it. I also gave you examples how ready we are to take the agenda forward, which shows we can do it. And we will do it. With this vision and commitment, once again, thank you very much, and I really expect your guidance, your support, your participation in implementing the roadmap what my friend Ravi presented before you. We've already started doing few things just before I concluded mission. We have got a strong leadership in Africa. Dr. Ravi Harawai is leading that endeavor. We have already started posting some senior people of Icrisat to work here in this continent. We are already in discussion with several funders and donors who are so willing to help us in taking our plan, our vision forward. And I want to start from one CG to work together to transform the drylands. Let us take it forward. We really need it. We really need it. This is urgently required for Africa, for the world. And Icrisat is committed for that. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support, and I wish all of your support to help us achieving our vision. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Dr. Patak. You mentioned a number of points. I will assure you that we on the ground can take care of those. As I alluded in the beginning, your job is leadership. And that is what we expect, and I'm sure we will get it, because leadership is one of those things that Icrisat is a very vibrant organization. It's like herding cats. So to get us all in the right direction, we need the strong leadership that I'm sure we can expect from you and the rest of the CG. So we have a representative from government, Mrs. Emma Murungiri. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. Where are you? Emma? Ah, there you are. Sorry, I've not met you, but in 8 steps I will meet you. Good morning. Welcome, and I appreciate your time. If you can address us on behalf of the government of of Kenya. I live in Ethiopia, so sorry, government of Kenya. Thank you.
You're still welcome to Kenya. Once you step on Kenya soil, you become Kenyan. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. How are you today? Maybe I should stand here. I don't know. Yes, my name is Emma Wanja Murangiri. I wear a few hats. I'm the technical advisor to the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Ag and Livestock Development. But one of my best hats is the National Coordinator for a program we are calling Tajati, which basically is transforming ecosystems for jobs in agriculture through technology and innovation. And definitely Icrisat has been very key on this journey because it's about technologies and getting 500,000 jobs for youth every year. Apologies that our PS had already accepted to come to this very important meeting. But as we know, sometimes there's a lot of dynamisms. And so last evening, he was given an assignment together with our PS Mweke to outside the country. So he left this morning, but definitely we are very, very together. Allow me to just say very few words in regard to our meeting today. And for me, when I see that photo over there, it reminds me of the 4 years that I spent as a young girl, all my high school, chasing the birds away from my school fees. Because for me, whenever I see millet, I was seeing school fees. Some of us who grew in drylands, because I grew in the drylands of Embu. Embu, our colleagues who are here from some other countries, is also a bit of dry in some areas. And we do a lot of sorghums and millets. For me, I never knew about that crop like I know now when it comes to Icrisat. But one thing that I am 100% aware of is that that crop used to take me to school for 4 years. And down the line, many years have passed, and one thing is for sure, that I believe personally, from my own personal experience, that it is very possible for us to basically turn the drylands into an income-generating machine, even for school fees for the smallholder farmers. But I wanted to just mention that as I join us today in this launch of the Africa Vision 2025 to 2030, I wish to reflect on what I call the 5 I's that are critical from our perspective as we drive this forward. The first I is intentionality. To be very honest, intentionality will give us speed. Because when we're intentional, it then means that it is very possible for us to work together. When one is intentional, it means there is being there, but there is being intentional. In a continent with urgent needs, like especially Kenya, we can't afford to be passive. We must be deliberate and move fast. One thing is for sure. As we always talk about climate change, things are happening. So intentionality is key while we are driving forward this great, our document. The second I is about inclusivity. Because partnerships is power, we have so many ecosystems who are in this hall today. And the moment we all play our role with extreme inclusivity, it then means that it is very possible for us to make it happen. It is not possible even in a family to say that one can do it alone. It is all about inclusivity, which brings in a lot of partnerships, the researchers, the government, farmers, youth, and the private sector. No one can be left behind in this whole great document that we have. The third I is about involvement. We need to mobilize resources. The moment we are all involved, it is very possible for Kiswahili, we normally say haba na haba, hujaza kibaba. And there is no ocean unless there is one drop. And that is how we just have all things happening together. And I also want to talk about the very last I, is impact. Because at the end of the day, it's not about activities. It's about transformation in people's lives, in ecosystems, and in outcomes. Allow me to mention that there was a deliberate effort, for those who believe, by the Creator to cause Kenya to be in plus or minus 70+% of dry lands. It means there is something crucial about these places. And one thing is for sure, what used to be, we thank God for Icrisat and the partners that are here today, because we still believe it can be and even become better because we have technologies. So for us, even while working within the government, it is very, very possible to turn our ASALs and the rest of our country into food baskets. There is, as I end, there is one mentor who mentored me for the past 20 years. And one thing he keeps telling me to date, because we used to believe that everything that is written is correct. Yes, it is correct. But sometimes in life, it is critical sometimes to challenge the status quo. Who says that Turkana cannot be a food basket for this country? Who says that Embu, where I come from, cannot be a food basket for this country? The difference between the standard, common, traditional food basket is what there was then. But with technologies, with what we have today, digital transformation, partnerships, intentionality, it is very possible for every section of this country to be utilized as a food basket. And with that, we are very grateful to Icrisat. Madam Dr. Rebi, thank you very much for driving this. With our great partners who have also come here today, we are behind this, and we believe it is through technologies and through this kind of crops that will create as many jobs as possible in this country. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emma. Those are very inspiring. Without trying to sound critical, I want to add one I to your series of I's, if you don't mind, and that's obviously Icrisat. So we're building our mental models and our series of I's and the engagement and involvement of government is obviously very, very critical. So I appreciate that, Emma. Asante sana. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce our friend and colleague Ramon to officially unveil the Icrisat strategy for the drylands in Africa.
Thank you, Andre, and good morning, friends and colleagues. We come to the part of the schedule, the official unveiling of the Icrisat Africa Strategy Roadmap. And today, as we gather to launch a truly resilient vision for the drylands for Africa, I'd like to invite to our launch pavilion Dr. Lindiwe Sibanda, Chair of the CGIR Integrated Partnership Board. Please, a round of applause. Our Icrisat board members, if we can also come up to the launch pavilion. Ms. Kedibon Mathui, please. Dr. Nicholas Austin, our esteemed board member. Thank you, Doctor. Icrisat Director General, Dr. Himanshu Patak. Thank you. Icrisat Deputy Director General Research and Innovation, Dr. Stanford Blade. And last but not least, Dr. Rebi Hawara, our esteemed Africa Country Director and Country Representative. Welcome.
The government representative.
And can we have a government representative to please come up? Thank you. Thank you very much. And I believe we're going to start with the official ribbon cutting. If we could have all hands on the knife. There we are. There we go. Colleagues, this is being live streamed on YouTube. All Icrisat staff and around the world are watching, so it's a very special moment for us. So we can have a countdown if we can. On the count of 5, we can start. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, thank you. Friends and colleagues, we also have a cake for everyone. If I could invite all partners, please come for the official cutting.
All partners, please come for the official cutting.
Great. Thank you very much for making yourselves available here. Dr. Karega, I want to start with you. The role of your organization is paramount in driving the transformation of drylands in Kenya, but also throughout Africa. Long gone are the days where countries operate individually, and at least in the 25, 30 years that I've been involved in agricultural development, I've seen the NAS strengthening dramatically. And that is really great. So my question to you is, what are those game-changing technologies and innovations that we need to scale to really transform the drylands? So to emphasize my question, linear incremental change is one thing, but transformative change is what we need. We don't have time to take 15, 20 years to see change. We need to see it quite rapidly. So from your point of view, Dr. Karega, what are those? And I would like you to keep it as brief as you can so that we may have some follow-up questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. We've launched the vision. So how do we achieve this vision of transforming the drylands? As Dr. Patak said, the technologies are there, but they are in the research institutions. They are not with the farmers. So that is the first challenge that we need to tackle. And to be able to do that, for example, what we have done at Calro is to digitize all those technologies so that they are easily accessible through the mobile phone. And if you go to the Google Play Store now, and you Google Calro apps, you will find more than 100 applications that have been digitized. The second issue which we had to deal with was that we are developing these technologies, sometimes we're not involving farmers. We assume we know what they want. So what we did was that we registered farmers. They are geo-referenced. We know the value chains they deal with. So that, because why we did that, we wanted to know who is using what technology. Are these technologies being used at all? So that's what drove us to register farmers. So currently, we are able to send information to farmers targeted because we know the value chains they are in. Like currently, we are expecting farmers in the North Rift to plant maize because this is our planting season. So we send them individual advisories on what fertilizer to use, what chemicals to use in terms of spraying. So we must digitize. So the first thing is the technologies are there. There's no doubt. It's not about what they can wear. Do these people, the farmers, know the technologies that are available to them? And there are a variety of them. And sometimes, for example, maize is a very important crop for this country. We have about, for the last few years, we have developed so many technologies, which is even confusing to farmers. You have 20 maize varieties being sold out there. Farmers don't know which one is suitable for my area. So they'll pick anything which they saw in their friend's house. So I think the most important thing to transform is for the farmers to access the technologies that have been developed. That's my take.
Thank you very much. Stan, so from an Icrisat point of view, and you as DDJR of research, and considering what Dr. Kirega just said, how do we contribute? How do we create synergies with those innovations and technologies that are required, please?
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. I also have to point out, you know, with this tremendous celebration that we've just experienced, I don't think I will ever be part of a World Cup winning team, but for 10 seconds I felt like I was part of one of those celebrations, if you know the trophy presentation arrangement. I would also just like to really acknowledge Dr. Kirega. As you know, Calro has been absolutely crucial in the arrangements of Science Week, and I think that Calro and the Director General requires a round of applause as well for this tremendous work. Thank you so much for your assistance. So to the matter at hand, I would say that Icrisat has the good fortune of being able to put together the spectrum of technologies to your question. So we think obviously in terms of agriculture to food to nutrition to human health, but we're even able to expand that spectrum to the gene bank, and we have the lead of the group here in the room, to do the genomics work and the sequencing, to build into the crops that we produce. And some of those examples, whether it's high oleic groundnuts, whether it's adapted millets that are high in iron, these are all technologies that are available to Africa and our partners. So we see that there's a real opportunity on all of the crops. We have our sorghum breeder here, not only working on interesting crops for today, but even thinking about perennial sorghum for the future. We also have our leader of the Resilient Farming and Food Systems group here, Dr. M.L. Jat. And that group is working very much in the concept of landscapes, of water management, of soil management, in ways to either improve degraded soils or to ensure the maintained sustainability of soils. And we also have in the audience our head of Enabling Systems Transformation, Dr. Victor Afari-Sefa, thinking now about nutrition opportunities, but also how we can develop entrepreneurs. I heard the government of Kenya's representative talking about employment opportunities. How can we create those new possibilities as well? So we're connecting research to that impact that we very much all desire to have, and Icrisat wants to be a partner in all of that, and I think maybe we'll have a chance to talk about that partnership piece in a few moments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stan. So co-creation is the name of the game, and that's where it starts. I may get back to you if we have time, but Dr. Jane Inanda, when I joined Icrisat in 2003, that was a long time ago, the flavor of the month was seed systems. And everybody complained that seed systems are not working. And now, 23 years later, where are we with seed systems, and what is new that will AGRA bring to this space? Because I'm really interested to see how will we transform seed systems, because in my mental model of seed is those little packages of genetic wonders that we give to farmers, and how do we make that happen?
Okay, thank you very much. First, let me congratulate Icrisat for the launch of the strategy. Congratulations, Rebi, and your team, and the Director General. I think we are also very passionate. As AGRA, we are very passionate about what Icrisat does on dryland crops, because these are the same crops that will transform agriculture and bring food security to our farmers. Talking about seed systems, for me, when I think about how can we help that farmer, how can we transform that farmer, I think about scale. And we want to reach many farmers. We have targets. Okay, like in AGRA, we have 28 million farmers. We want to reach Icrisat as several million farmers they want to reach. I think we all want to reach all these farmers with new technologies of seed. And we are also looking at, these highly nutritious crops. And so what I want to just mention is we thought about this 5 years ago. And we know we have limited resources. If you look at what governments actually invest in agriculture, there are very few governments which have even met the 6% commitment for the Malabo Declaration. And if you look at even what goes to research, we are talking about 0.4% of what goes to research, leave alone what goes to agriculture. So this means that the resources are very limited and very few. So what, if we have limited resources and we want to transform this agriculture, what can we do? We have run a tool which we call the Seed System Assessment Tool in AGRA, and we have been working actually with our partners in Icrisat. And we have found some critical issues which actually affect dryland crops. First of all, these dryland crops, the adoption rates are very low. When you look at the adoption rates for maize, we are talking about 75% in Kenya, the same about 70% in Ethiopia. But if you look for chickpea, pigeon peas, sorghum, millet, the adoption rates are still very low. Why? It's because there is not sufficient attention to the seed system for dryland crops. So what does seed system mean for dryland crops? We need to invest in those critical areas that have been identified as which stifle, the progress of the seed system. Some of these areas are early generation seed production. Quality assurance, planning and coordination. We were talking with many governments. We have done this too in all our countries, in 16 countries. And there is not one single ministry which has a dedicated seed planning. I'm talking about seed planning. It's usually commingled with other planning functions. And so it's very, very important. Where is the early generation seed? Where is the certified seed for this? So how do you intervene? You need to know what are these critical areas and entry points. So early generation seed, certified seed production, quality assurance. And actually you will find, even for these crops we are talking about in Africa, the certification processes are not very streamlined. So these are some of the areas. And I want to say Icrisat, especially Icrisat Africa, Rebi, we have worked very well. Right now we are saying farmers need to access these resilient drought tolerance crops at a faster rate so that we can be able to increase the variety turnover. We have been having programs. We are running these programs in some countries where we are supporting, together with Icrisat, we are working on fast tracking. These varieties, they need to be released, but not even just released, they need to be commercialized. We need that early generation seed gap filled. We need this planning working. And we have been doing this for sorghum, millet, groundnuts, and we are very together with our team, Icrisat's team here in Africa. So these are some of the things. Then let me talk about capacity. It's interesting that when you meet breeders, you find a breeder, you say, I'm a legume breeder. What does a legume breeder mean? It means that, many breeders, they are not just handling sorghum, they are doing sorghum, they are doing millet, they are breeding many crops together. It means that there is a gap between, but maize breeders, you say, oh, I'm a maize breeder, like me, I'm a maize breeder. Because I know I'm a maize breeder. But you see, it means that the number of crop breeders for legumes and dry land, especially for dry land crops, there are very few. We need to invest in capacity. So these are some of the things which we have found out and which really contribute to the scale. And we are paying attention to these things so that they can be able, we can reach more farmers. If there's no seed, we can have the varieties, but we will not be able to transform the farmers.
Thank you very much, Jane. There's a lot in my head with regards to what you've said, but yes, seed systems are extremely complex, and I love studying complex systems within agriculture, but the seed guys in Icrisat has always kept me out of that space. But I fully agree with you. This is really a complex challenge and opportunity. But then, at a personal note, I just have to reflect on the fact that there is nothing in the world that beats this kind of enthusiasm. And I just love to hear the tone of your voice. And yes, technologies and innovation is one thing, but enthusiasm and determination is another that we desperately need. So thank you for that answer. Catherine, you may not know it, but you're the most important person sitting in front here. The voice of the farmer has been quiet in a long time, and we always try to elevate the voice of the farmer. So I want to know from you, you've heard Dr. Rebi's presentation, you've heard from our leadership, the directors, the big bosses, the seed systems, but from a farmer, if you can give us 4 or 5 really critical issues that from your side you would say, give me this and we can transform the drylands. What is it that you need from the system? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Catherine Billy from Makueni County, a farmer. I'm happy to be here in this team. What I can say, I thank Icrisat. Icrisat came into our area in 2014. Since then, most farmers have been transformed. And even though Icrisat is not in all parts of Makueni, it is in the lower part of Makueni, that is part of Makueni sub-county and Kibwezi West and Kibwezi East sub-counties. Icrisat has done very well in our area, and as farmers, we have been trained on different, we have been capacity built on different issues. Like, for example, we have conservation agriculture with the Icrisat. But you know, most of these farmers, they will not accept to do it during the dry period. Most farmers like doing planting when it is wet planting. Others do sluggard planting, that is, they do it dry season, and then part of the farm they do it during the wet season. What I can appeal to you people, there is no mechanization enough for conservation agriculture, because you know we have to break that hard pan in our lands. If we don't do so, the roots of the crops will not penetrate well in the soil. So there is lack of mechanization for conservation agriculture in the semi-arid wards. We also have these seeds. We have those farmers who do seed multiplication. They are not enough to do it, because those who have been trained on doing seed, they are few, and those farmers who need to plant these crops are many. So we need those seeds, and if possible, new varieties which are nutritional, which are drought tolerant, which are pest tolerant, resistant. We need them as farmers. There is also the problem of weed management. We have, like, for example, we have herbicides for weeding green grams, for weeding beans, for weeding maize, but we do not have herbicides for weeding pigeon peas, cow peas, and they do very well in our area. Also, there is need for more farmers to be trained on value addition. We do these crops like sorghum, we do finger millet, we do pearl millet, but most of the grains, they are sold, and when we have bumper harvests, we sell them at loss, very, very low prices. So we should think of something else like value addition. And I remember, like me, I've been trained on value addition by Icrisat. I do value addition for those sorghum, pearl millet, finger millet. And I was thinking, this cake here today, we are going to cut a cake from sorghum or finger millet. I'm sorry for this, because it is very nutritious. As farmers, we are trying to do our best. Like in Makueni, in Makueni Count, we have partnered with NAPSID, the national value chain development project. We have some crops like tomatoes, we have mangoes, we have poultry, because livestock has to be integrated. We have beekeeping, which are resilient in our area. And like beekeeping, you will not go a lot of expenses. When you hang your beehive, you leave it and bees will come in. At long last, you'll go and harvest honey. You'll have money where you have not done a lot of work in that field. So, as farmers, we continue to ask for capacity building to continue on, because through this capacity building, farmers will have enough knowledge on how to do these technologies. They'll be able to have sustainable agriculture through this knowledge and tools which have been which farmers have been empowered on. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Asante. Great, Catherine. I really appreciate. We are really stressed for time, so I had a number of follow-up questions, but with respect to the next panel session, if any of my panelists has got 10, 15 seconds critical thing that you want to elevate, you're most welcome. Stan, I see you burning, which is why.
15 seconds, that's all I will ask. I think the idea, and you mentioned that word of co-design, I think this is how we need to work together, to listen to you. Thank you so much, Catherine, for your observations. I see our so many partners, colleagues, funders, friends in the audience. Those are not mutually exclusive groups. We need to work together. We are so focused on how we can connect on the South-South collaboration, especially within Icrisat, with all of our colleagues, whether it's capacity building, whether it's doing the South-South collaborative engagement that we had last month. So I think it's a call to all of us to work together to do the kinds of things that we've heard from colleagues here on the panel. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Stan. So I've been asked if we could, the panelists can just remain here. We need to take one photo for prosperity.
My colleagues will know what I've always said in Icrisat. If we don't take a photograph, the meeting has not happened. Exactly.
Thank you very much. Thank you for those great discussions, and again, my apologies that we had to rush. Great. So our next panel consists of a number of people. I just want to make sure, did we get the executive director of FARA? Are you here, Dr. Agunya? Great. Please join us up there. Mr. George Apaka from MasterCard will remain in his seat there, and we will communicate with him at some distance. Our good friend and colleague Baji, please join us. And I have two really great Zimbabwean friends. The one is Lindiwe, the other one is Siboniso. Bonnie, please join us. I lived in Zimbabwe for almost 20 years because of people like this. Thank you very much. And I know that some of you have got appointments within minutes. So we're going to have to do this very quickly. I just want to set the scene by saying, in my career, I've seen that many people create partnerships based on similarities. We like to work with people that do the same kind of stuff, and those partnerships often fail. So the way we develop partnerships is not based on similarity, it should be based on complementarity. And often that is the mistake we make. So that is the introduction, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's the introduction to this part of the of this panel session. So kicking off with FARA, Dr. Agunya, how do FARA see partnerships? It's obviously a critical part of your work. Give us a couple of key messages on how we should address partnerships in this incredibly important space. Thank you.
Thank you. First, it's a pleasure to be here, and I thank Icrisat for inviting and giving us this platform. How do we see partnerships? Partnerships is the means through which we get all the players to contribute their knowledge, their networks, their resources to address a problem, and to not just problems, but also take advantage of opportunities. If I could go on to share with you some of the lessons that we have learned about partnerships over the years. We were responsible for coordinating a CG Challenge program that was really looking at how do we get better outcomes out of research. And the answer was through partnerships for innovation. That was an experiment for 8 years, and 10 years down the road after the experiment ended, we are learning important lessons. And these lessons have been confirmed by another 5-year project comprising it's an initiative of 65 projects. And it shows that for the kind of partnerships for innovation that would work, they would have to be structured at about 3 levels. You have the micro, local innovation partnerships, where the people who are engaged in the real work on the ground are organized, and they are organized, as you've said, in diversity, farmers, researchers, extension, and all those people who are at the local level. Then at the meso level, they would have to be supported by service providers, the aggregators, the agri-finance, those kinds of service providers. Then you have another partnership at the macro level, which would be mostly concerned with policy financing in a strategic way, and also regulations. We have learned that just focusing on one level doesn't deliver the results. So you need an ecosystem that is structured that way. And it's better to build on and strengthen existing groups and partnerships rather than starting off creating new ones. Last point, that the partnerships evolve. When you start with doing some work on innovation, the research actors are usually in the lead. As the partnership grows and matures to scaling and sustainability, at scaling maybe people in the development domain would take the lead. Then sustainability, you would have farmers taking the lead. So the partnership has to be intentional in facilitating those transitions of leadership of the partnership. I would have some more, but let me stop there. Thank you.
There is a huge amount that I would love to discuss with you about this. Two points that I really appreciate from your contribution is the different levels of scale that we need to work out. But the thing that really hit me in my chest was that partnerships need to evolve. Too often, I think we want to force partnerships, and partnerships really becomes valuable and functional when we allow them the space to evolve. So thank you for that. Mr. Budgie, Lead Global Food Security Specialist, ISDB. Rebbe in her presentation mentioned seven points. Now my question to you, and if I can reduce it and boil it down to one critical question, is how do we do the trans and cross-disciplinary work to integrate all of this? One of those I's that we've heard. How do we do that, and how do you as a funder ensure that we that want to do our own little bit of work in the lab, how do you ensure that that stuff gets integrated into transformational change?
Thank you very much, Andre, and I will join my voice to just thank Icrisat for this great work they are doing since a couple of years. Responding to your question, I will just say that partnership partnership and partnership for development. As mentioned by the Director General here, the technologies are with you, but not for you. How are we going to support African member countries to adopt, adapt, own, and disseminate these technology for economic growth? This is the main mandate. And if you look at ISDB, the Islamic Development Bank, the Multilateral Development Bank, our mandate is not just to support CGR system, but to try to find mechanisms to be used to enable CGR system to support our member countries, because our main target will be the end beneficiaries, the farmers. The most important people, the most important ecosystem we had goes to those farmers. How are we going to implement strategies that are based on policy, technically correct, politically supportable, but also organizationally implementable? This is exactly what we want to do. I think we need to strengthen collaboration, but it cannot be top-down. It could be like responding to needs by providing impactful solutions. And I think partnership will be my response for that question. Thank you very much.
Again, Nadia, we need to go and sit in a quiet place and drink coffee. So thank you for that. Bonnie, you've had a wonderful career and has done some amazing work both within the government system in Zimbabwe and within ILRI. But my question to you is, within the space of partnership, how do we ensure the contribution and the participation and the value of young women scientists, young women farmers, and how do we ensure that we make them an integral part of those partnerships?
Thank you very much, Andre, and good morning, colleagues. Again, congratulations, Icrisat, for setting the vision for the roadmap for 2025-2030 in transforming the drylands agriculture. I want to start by noting that livestock are a primary asset in the drylands. So Icrisat and ILRI have naturally worked together as cousins on this journey. So we look forward to continue to partner with you. But then now to your question on how do we engage, especially young women, on this transformation journey. I see maybe 2 or 3 opportunities to do that. One, these are the people that are in these communities. They are rearing, keeping, and looking after these animals. They are processing the meat, the milk. So they already have some traditional knowledge that has been passed on from generation to generation, especially on how to manage the shocks, the climatic shocks that come through these regions. So why not tap into that knowledge as we co-create the solutions and the innovations? So that will be my first call. Let's engage the women in bridging that traditional knowledge and the innovations. Secondly, we have a number of technologies that can help us in improving or increasing productivity from these systems, understanding better what the challenges are. We know that women are champions in adopting and taking up new innovations and technologies into the system. We heard already earlier on from Catherine that she is one of the people that benefited from the Icrisat training, and she is continuing to champion that. So let's engage the women, because they are already early adopters. They are keen to learn new things, and they work in groups. they already are championing in sharing and learning from each other. So let's continue to work with them as Icrisat is already doing with the Catherine and other farmers in these communities. The third area, what could be transformational? I see here one of your strategic area is deploy digital agriculture. As we had here in Kenya, mobile phones are almost like 80 to 85% coverage of the country. So these young women that we want to engage and be intentional, borrowing from Emma's eyes this morning, let's really support them through these data and digital solutions. They will amaze us on how they use this information. Women like sharing. It's our nature. When we go to the watering places, when we go to our clubs, we share. So let's build on that and see how we can amplify that. So these are the 3 points that I have on how we can better engage young women. And those that are scientists will definitely want to go back to their home areas and improve those places through their knowledge. So let's continue just to support and engage them in co-creation, in implementation. Thank you.
Ngabonga Kakulu. Thank you, Bonnie. When you talk like this, it takes me back to the work that we've done in Zimbabwe on goats and goat markets and women and young people going to school because we're feeding goats feed and fodder from Icrisat crops and varieties. Can somebody take the mic to George, please? Mr. George Apaka, Program Lead Agribusiness and Food Systems for MasterCard. You have the most difficult question, sir. No one argues the role of the private sector. Nobody argues the role of job creation and entrepreneurship. So my question to you is, how do we, in the space of functional partnerships, how do we involve the small entrepreneur, the young people, the girls and women that Bonnie just spoke about? How do we make them part of this transformational process? And the discussions you and I have had before really led to how do we create jobs in this space? And I would be really appreciative if you could elude some of MasterCard's ideas in how we promote these areas. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. First of all, I want to congratulate Icrisat for launching the plan. This is really wonderful, and it's in line with our mission. As you might be aware, the foundation is about creating dignified and fulfilling work for young people, and especially young women. I'm quite excited about this discussion on how we can be able to empower women to be part of the value chain, not just being providers of labor, but actually, so very, very wonderful discussions, and congratulations, Icrisat, for convening and bringing all of us on the table. Now, one of the ways in which we believe we can be able to create work for young people, and especially young women, is agriculture. What preoccupies our mind is how can we make agribusiness and agriculture as a viable livelihood opportunity for young women. And we do this through a couple of ways. And example, our partnership with Icrisat. Icrisat has really given us the technical skills and the technologies that young women and young men require to engage in agriculture. So for instance, through the technical skilling and capacity that Icrisat brings on our program, young people have been able to acquire knowledge. They've been able to become seed multipliers, and that enables them to earn decent incomes along the value chains. We've also benefited a lot from the value addition technologies that Icrisat has brought on the table. And for the first time when I went to the field, I was able to taste a cake made of sorghum and millet. I've never seen that. So young people are really excited about these technologies because traditionally young people think about agriculture
as being the drudgery and, you know, the digging and the hard labor. But we have now realized that you can dig through other technologies that Icrisat is bringing on the table. The second way in which we do this is once the young people have been able to produce whatever they have done, how do we link them to markets? How can they be able to access reliable and consistent markets so that they can be able to realize decent income? So access to market is another one. The third one is how do we also bring in innovative financial products that are accessible and affordable so that young people can be able to access the right type of capital to be able to engage in agriculture. We have also seen that with the skilling, young people have also become critical providers of services along the value chains. Some of them have become extension officers. Some of them have been able to do mechanization. Some of them have been able to, you know, be input providers. And these are some of the ways in which we can be able to accelerate opportunities for young people. We are really grateful with Icrisat, especially on the drought-tolerant varieties that we have introduced within communities, and we've actually seen the yields go up, and young people are now even beginning to see that you can make more money, multiplication side, rather than just doing the grains. So thank you very much, Icrisat.
Thank you, George. We fresh out of time, but as I've asked my previous panel, if somebody's got a burning question or a contribution, Bajit, I see some glitter in your eyes, but your friend from Para jumped ahead.
Thank you. I wanted to let you know that we, the African institutions responsible for research, extension, and education, the universities, are signing a partnership engagement framework with the CGIAR this week. And that's an important development. But another development is that the global NAS, that there's a platform that brings together all the NAS globally. It's called the Global NAS Consortium. Is being launched this week too, during this Science Week. This consortium is an opportunity for Icrisat in this way. Many of those NAS are in the drylands, and they provide an opportunity, if Icrisat can seize the opportunity, to provide or support them to exchange what they have, so that rather than all the time engaging in generating new innovations, you provide and facilitate the exchange of innovations that are developed and existing within the drylands by the NAS. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to stop this panel discussion right here. If you guys can stand up with us, we get a picture. Sorry, Bonnie, you got it. Where's our? We need our strategic plans. While we're getting ourselves ready, Rebi, I want to put you on the spot here and say that this breakfast and what we've discussed here is like going to a restaurant, reading the menu, and then you're not allowed to eat. Now, my suggestion is we need 2 days of this. We're touching the surface, and I know that it's not easy to get all these good people in one room, but for us to really move forward in the drylands, we need to unpack this a lot further. And I'm going to put that on your desk to say that this is such an enriching discussion that we really, really need to do that more often and more intensely. So thank you very much to my panelists. I really appreciate, and apologies for rushing you. one of the things that I've learned very early on in my scientific career is the concept of adaptive management. So on the program, we did not have this little slot, but because I'm the one holding the mic, I can do what I want. And I would like to ask, I think it's Dr. Nicholas Austin, board member of the CGIAR, to come forward and just make a few remarks and reflect on what you've seen, what you've experienced, what your heart and mind tells you about what we are trying to do. So please, Austin.
Thank you. All protocols observed. It's a real pleasure to be here and a real surprise to be put on the spot for some remarks. So thank you for that opportunity. As mentioned, I'm a member of the Integrated Partnership Board and have the good fortune to also be a member of both the Icrisat Board and the ICADA Board, and the opportunity to work across drylands, particularly and including Africa. But as the DG has outlined, drylands are global. What's really exciting for me today is to see the launch of the Africa strategy, the focus for the next 5 years, and the opportunity to build on the partnerships that exist and to strengthen those, and the commitment that we've heard and the passion that we've heard on the panels for a range of partners and from the different participants in the programs that we've heard about. So I congratulate Icrisat for the leadership here. We've heard about the importance of leadership, and congratulate each of you for the contributions that you're making. I look forward to being with you on this journey as we see the deepening and the strengthening of the relationships that exist, and the increasing importance of the challenges described as opportunities across dryland areas in the face of changing climates, resource degradation, population pressures, policy challenges and the like. So what I've heard of today in the strategy is the coherent approach and a lot of thought that's gone in to get us where we were. I couldn't agree more with the suggestion that we need to go deeper on this and continue to take these opportunities to challenge our thinking, to learn from each other, to push our understanding, really challenge our assumptions and work forward together on this. So thank you for the opportunity to reflect and say a few words, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. One last item on our agenda. I would like to call on Lydia, Director of Business Development, to say a few words to finalize this process. And from my side, thank you very much for your participation, your patience, and I hand over to Lydia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So mine is a short task. I know time is not on our side, but really to thank you for your time. Thank you for your time this morning. Those who haven't had a chance to, please grab breakfast before you go. We wouldn't want you to leave hungry. So we really value that. It was good to hear, Emma, those words, partnership is power. I love that. I enjoyed that. Also, partnership needs to evolve, and we want to recognize that. The success of the work that we've done in Africa, particularly, has been, through your collaboration. We look forward to more of that. We look forward to scaling the work, scaling geographically. Rebi put up some countries that we're working on, working in, but geographically we're also looking to expand: South Sudan, Madagascar, Uganda, the Sahel, North Africa with ICADA partners, Horn of Africa, and more broadly. So we're really looking forward to working with you within 2025 to 2030, this partnership, to bring that to reality. Also scaling our work in new areas that are relevant to addressing the challenges that we're continuing to face in this region. So complementing skills that you bring on board and how we can collaborate together. So thank you for that. We're looking forward to that. But also scaling our work and deepening our impact. Deepening our impact and fulfillment of the Africa vision, our mutual objectives, in response to national agendas, the respective national agendas, and of course in fulfillment and achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. I would like to welcome you, if you have the time, to explore the work of Icrisat. We have a Kiboko station not too far from here to visit Makweni and taste some of the sorghum cake. But otherwise, you know, for me it's to say asanteni sana, and I wish you successful deliberations for the rest of Science Week. Thank you so much. May I just ask the partners who were at the cake cut, at the ribbon cutting to come here? Would like to take a picture, a final picture up here, please. All those who were up there.
While the partners are setting themselves up for a photo, I want to end with where I started. And I sincerely wish that we have an enriched mental model of what transformation within the drylands mean, what it entails, and how to move forward. So from my point of view, thank you very much. I think, yeah, just here is fine.
I'm so grateful for your participation. Thank you very much.